Welcome back. Welcome back. What's everybody? It's been a couple weeks. We took a week off there. You know, uh, every every news outlet and uh, person I follow on YouTube for the last week has been posting about or somehow referencing to the shooting of Charlie Kirk, the politically famous guy who, I mean, personally, I only ever knew him from being that guy when he first started on YouTube that would like go to colleges and have a prove me wrong sign because he was like 18 when he started. So I was like, it's a kid doing that. Pretty sure I was in college when I first seen it going on. I was like, that is a crazy marketing scheme. I was like, that could definitely work. You have a lot of access to young people, and if you catch on at colleges, they're going to go home. They're going to show their parents, their friends from back home. It's a big way to, I guess, spread whatever idea or brand you're pushing. But yeah, I didn't really check back in with him since then. I had no idea about, pretty much anything. I watch Candace Owens' show all the time. I got interested when she started doing the Brigitte thing. And I was like, all right, well, what's she talking about? I watch her show all the time. Had no idea they were even friends. That's how out of politics I am. But yeah, I was at work and I think I was coming back from lunch or it was like right after lunch. We were gonna clean up to get out of work and I scroll through Instagram and I saw it, just a manny video of a guy getting shot in the neck with what appeared to be a very big bullet, I guess. I don't know. At first, the first one I saw had like a warning emoji over his head. And then I scrolled down a little further, and the next reel was just like, no, it was even closer than the first one. It was like super up close to him, and there was no emoji. And you just see like he's talking, and the next thing you know, there's like a fountain of blood shooting out of his neck. It was brutal. That shit was cool. And I'm sure plenty of people were scarred by watching it. So if you're one of them, I hope you do something you love. Hug your family. Because that shit was crazy. But yeah, that's been pretty much everything that was being covered everywhere that I could see. At the same time that that was happening, though, I think within the same hour that he got shot, there was a school shooting in Colorado at a high school. And I think the kid ended up like shooting himself at the end. And the Republicans voted to not release the Epstein files further. Forget exactly what it was called, but they basically voted within the hour. They decided it would be a good time to get the vote in to not release any more info about the Epstein files, or at least, I guess, not be beholden to. I think either way, they could just, make some bullshit or lie it out like they have been. That's, I mean, Diddy's walking. They didn't, they didn't really care. I don't know what happened. He must have made some kind of deal with somebody because when he was going in, it seemed like the world was crashing down on Diddy and that they were going to get him for a RICO and that he was for all the bad things he had ever done, he was going to be facing justice for. And then at the end of the trial, it seemed like, why the hell did they even have this trial? They could have just told him that he was going to be monitored, or give him an FBI agent, and not have had to do all of that and waste all of that time. But they might have been wasting all of that time for a specific reason. People need something to talk about. There wasn't many other celebrity cases like that going on at that time. So I don't know. I know I talk about the news all the time and we go on Reddit and stuff, but that's just because I feel kind of corny. Just reading my life advice or gives me hopes on Reddit, but that's what I like to do as well. Sometimes the news gets brutal, and I like to maybe drain myself away from the news, watch some cartoons and turn my phone off and just veg out for a minute. You know, when you can't go on vacation or you don't go on vacations, you gotta find ways to clear your mind. Clear your mind must be like water. Water. But yeah, what was I doing the last 2 weeks? Basically procrastinating on recording more music, which I definitely need to get on. I've been hoping that Joe has been mastering or mixing, whatever you call it, songs I sent him, so I can drop those as soon as I have those. Just, I thought we were gonna have those for whatever reason. I was expecting to have them by Halloween. That'd be great. And then just do a nice little album for Halloween because I have a This Is Halloween remix on there that I know he could do some really good work on. But enough is enough. So every time I go a week or even more without recording something, I'm always just like, man, what am I doing? I can't be falling off. I gotta keep making music. But a lot of times, if you sit and think, you'll find it's probably better to not just constantly be in a loop like that and to live some life because where we get into music for is because we had been through all this childhood and life and stuff, and we wanted a way to express ourselves sonically. So I think it's important every now and then to take some breathing room, get a little life in there, especially when you have been racking your brain nonstop about it. It's okay. It's good, especially knowing that you can handle something like that. The amount of pressure that you put on yourself, no job, no anything can put, no AI overlords can put the pressure on me that I put on myself. God damn it. But yeah, music been going good. Besides that, I got Borderlands that came out last weekend. That was fun. I've been playing with my friends. Jordan bought it for me so we could all play together and play with a couple of the homies, but we still got to get everybody session. Otherwise, what is it good for? What is it good for? Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, besides that, I don't know if I've mentioned it here yet. I'm thinking of writing books, so I started just writing down a bunch of like memories of potential material, I guess. I'm trying to chronologically put all the memories I have together, essentially. I'm writing them down in my notes, upload them to my drive, and then sounds like I'm a robot. Writing them in my notes, upload to my drive, and then live. No, I'm just trying to get it all down on some kind of paper. And then with that, I'm going to try to put a book together, potentially using AI, potentially not. Let's see, maybe a bit of both. Why not? And yeah, just working 9 to 6, and then 9:30 to 6. But yeah, I got some stuff pulled up too. Let's see what we got going. Yeah, in Georgia, I seen this on Instagram while I was at work, like week, maybe a week or two ago. It might have been 2 weeks ago now. But yeah, I'm scrolling and I see it was like 300 and something, I think, South Korean illegal immigrants deported and caught in Georgia. I forget where. It's like somewhere in North Georgia, I think. So I looked up the city they had in the description. But somewhere in North Georgia, caught at a Hyundai factory, which to me was crazy because how are you illegal? Hyundai is like one of the top three big companies running South Korea. They could easily get them some kind of H-1B visa. Why not? At that point, it's probably going to be, they're probably thinking it's cheaper. I'll get them as a plane ticket there. We got places for them to live, blah, blah, blah. And they just may be expected to never get caught because they're doing it with so many people, 300. They get caught and they're getting fined 11,000 a person. I don't think those people are gonna feel like a worthwhile investment to them at that point or now. But I don't know what's happening behind that yet. I haven't really read this. I just saw the title and I was like, man, it's gotta be those kids. They can't be getting, 40, 50-year-old Korean men to be doing this shit. What are they, actual engineers from the factories out there? South Korean government says it's investigating potential human rights violations during the raid and detention of Korean workers by U.S. authorities. South Korea has expressed strong regret to the U.S. and has officially asked that its citizens' rights and interests are not infringed during law enforcement proceedings. More than 300 South Korean workers returned home on Friday after being held for a week following a raid at an electric vehicle battery plant in the U.S. state of Georgia. That's what I mean. The incident has tested ties between the countries. Has it? Even as South Korean firms are set to invest billions in America under a trade deal to avoid steep U.S. tariffs. South Korean authorities will work with the relevant companies to thoroughly investigate any potential human rights violations or other issues. BBC contacted U.S. immigrations. The raid has raised tensions between the U.S. and South Korea, where many of those detained were from, with President Lee Jae-myung warning that it will discourage foreign investment into the U.S. He called the situation bewildering, adding that it is a common practice for Korean companies to send workers to help set up overseas factories. Last week, Hyundai said the plant's opening will be delayed by at least 2 months. Oh, so what are they on, like a 6-month travel visa, and with their travel, they're traveling to help build the Hyundai plant, and then they were going to leave after. See, I didn't know anything about this thing. I thought it was an already set up Hyundai factory out here, and they were just sending workers in and out for whatever reason. South Korean trade unions have called on Trump to issue a formal apology. 475 people, mostly South Korean nationals, were arrested at a Hyundai plant in what marked the largest single location raid since the U.S. President Donald Trump launched a crackdown on illegal migrants earlier this year. ICE officials said the South Koreans had overstayed their visas or were not permitted to work in the U.S. Yep, see, that's what I mean. I don't know, but it happened. Seemed interesting. Judge dismisses terror-related charges against Luigi Mangione. So, so again, I'm going to say that while I don't approve of what Luigi Mangione did, and like I believe I said when it first happened or when I first talked about it, it's not right what he did. And ultimately, I don't think that firing the CEO does anything to the members of the board or, the people actually running big money in healthcare. He was replaced within like a week or whatever, The other CFO or whatever other O's probably just filled in until they put somebody in his position and things went back to normal. Point being, like I said originally, I don't approve that he killed that guy. He was a father and a husband and, all these things to all these people. But I get what he was trying to do. While, it seems kind of like dumb and pointless how he did it, like at that point, if he's gonna do that and face whatever he's terror charges and shit, he could have gone for like, some the actual big money people, find a Roth something or, the Rosie Crosby. I don't know. But first degree charge was also dismissed, but should also be noted this is because the murder of a CEO doesn't really fit the definition of first degree in the state of New York, which seems reserved for police officers, firefighters, high political figures, that sort of thing. But second degree will be what first is in most states. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think he should have been facing all the charges that he's facing on that level. But at the end of the day, he knew what he was doing, and it was probably some kind of planned. So he should have known what was going to happen, unless he somehow, got out of the country within hours. To be honest, I don't know why the DOJ DA thought a CEO would be considered that important, to put it crudly. His death spooked the hell out of the investor class, and they wanted to make an example. Yeah, that's what I mean. They were doing what he was doing and doing it knowingly. He figured that he was going to be made an example of by the system. You know what I mean? They're not just going to let you walk, especially the investor class that's billionaires and up, millionaires and billionaires and up. That's whatever. They're gonna pay some high power lawyers to do some things to set an example for what happens. Crazy. They wanted to make an example, so others wouldn't try to go after other shitty CEOs because moneyed interests have given up the facade that they don't run our country slash legal system. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know. It's not a great case that he's facing at this point still. He's probably most likely still going to be doing some kind of 20 to plus, with, I don't know. I just think they're going to throw the book at him because they want an example set. And you did kill somebody. Come on. I am surprised, though, that they didn't televise any of this trial. And I don't think there's even any, like, possible footage. I follow this guy, Cuff Boys, on YouTube, and he does a lot of these, like, trial videos and reactions to the videos. And he plays, like, the live streamed, I think, footage from these cases. So I figured he would be doing this one if, it was possible. But I'm not surprised ultimately, things like that are probably, if not best, then, paid for to be behind closed doors. Crazy. I had to educate my grandmother that it's actually illegal to provide Medicaid to illegal immigrants. She believed all the headlines that the illegals were walking in and getting welfare and Medicaid and full scope services for everything. Well, it's illegal to turn away anyone in need of urgent medical care, as it should be. When people whine about the poor or illegal getting any kind of support, it sickens me. Are we human beings or are we something else? Nice. Fox News, Brian Kilmeade. He probably felt like that after. Apologizes for saying mentally ill homeless people should be executed. He said that, I'm pretty sure, live on the air, on the news. I don't know if that was telepromptered in and he's like Ron Burgundy and now he's got to apologize for it or something. I don't know. But if that was all him, then yeah, I don't know what he thought he was going to gain from that. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who have, succumbed to unfortunate circumstances, especially in America. And killing them, even as a joke, when you're on the news is probably going to end very bad. I mean, suggesting to kill the homeless. That's insane. You might as well have actually just made something silly up and said it in a funny way. Talked about we'll just make a bunch of big forest and wilderness experience type camps. And then we'll give all the homeless people chances to go there and work on building skills. We'll have engineers and craftsmen and electricians and masons all there to teach them trades and help them. And we'll have a program for them where they can get better. You could have made something up. That would not be as expensive as people might believe it to be. I'm sorry, everyone. The true me slipped out for a second there, and I'm told it was repugnant. Sincerest apologies. I'll try my best not to let that happen again. That's what he said. Well, I mean, clearly he's very sorry. He said sincerest apologies. What can we say against that if he's that's his sincerest apology? Yeah, he's got a proper name, that's for sure. Good old Brian. I bet he was a hoot at parties. Lawsuit says Musk Tesla hires visa holders instead of Americans so it can pay less. I don't know if I've said this enough here yet, but I've been saying this. The H1B1, it's not a new COVID. It's a damn visa. And a lot of these workers are being imported from, I think, like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, all sorts of countries around that area that, are actually very good at tech and really good with computers and shit. And they've been hiring them for everything. Everything from training the AIs and being the AIs to all sorts of stuff. And because they're hiring them on an H1B1, they get to do it at a like I don't know if the H1B1 people are working remotely like from those countries or if they're flying them out here to work on those visas and still paying them less and overall it being more worth it. But the big thing is that not only are they not hiring Americans, they're also hiring the people because they can get away with comfortably paying them much less than they would an American in that position. That's the situation as I understand it. Again, I haven't really looked through these. I just picked them by the headlines and stuff I've maybe heard about here and there throughout the weeks. Tesla's wage theft harmed Americans, lawsuit says. Plaintiffs were denied or dissuaded from Tesla jobs. Tesla not available for comment. That's a good summary. The electric company led by blah, 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 accused of lawsuit of favoring visa holders over Americans when making employment decisions so it can pay less. According to a proposed class action suit filed in San Francisco, Tesla violates federal civil rights law through its systemic preference to hire visa holders and fire U.S. citizens at disproportionate rates compared with visa holders. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. H1B1, H1B. I'm sorry, it's the H1B. Keep wanting to say virus like it's the new COVID. You're not alone. 1,355 visa holders while laying off more than 6,000 workers domestically, the vast majority believed to be U.S. citizens. And they replaced all 6,000 with only 1,355 visa holders. That's not bad. They're probably getting great numbers out of this. You know what I mean? No, it's messed up. Well, I'm happy those people are getting paid probably what's a great wage for them. I do believe that that's kind of messing up Americans that could be getting that check. Shit, I would work at Tesla if I could fill the role for any position, I'd be there. But with any role I could possibly do, they'll hire an H-1B. And why wouldn't they? I would probably do the same exact thing. It's the same output at the end of the day for less input. And they're, more obedient or, scared to get kicked out of the country. I don't know. This just happened too. I seen this was posted 2 days ago. 13 people hurt in two mass shootings at Minneapolis homeless encampments on the same day. Crazy. There's 13 people wounded, five critically in two shootings. It spanned 12 hours at homeless encampments in Minneapolis. The shootings on Monday marked the fourth and fifth mass shootings to occur in Minneapolis in the past 3 weeks. Jesus Christ. Including the Catholic school that left two children dead and 21 injured. That was the trans shooter guy, I guess. This is tragic, it's horrible, it's unacceptable, and sadly, it's not surprising, said Mayor Jacob Frey. The officer exited the store and heard gunfire coming from the area of the encampment. It's messed up, guys. There's crazy shit going on all over. Decomposed body found in Singer David's impounded Tesla, identified as 15-year-old girl. I seen this on Instagram too, not this exact one, but it was, yeah, see, they don't even have it. There was a picture of him with the girl. That's how they discovered who it was. I guess, I don't know. But they posted a picture of them together. And I guess he's much older than 15. The decomposed body found last week in singer David's Tesla. I'd never heard of this guy. I guess he's got some TikTok famous songs. Impound, car was found at a Los Angeles impound. Uh, Identified as that of 15-year-old girl. The girl, Celeste Rivas, was identified through forensics. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner Office has not yet determined the cause of death. At this time, LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information at this time. Right, so since the car was already in the impound and he's like been on tour this last few, I don't know how long he's on tour when like it first happened. Uh, they're not, they don't have any case to press on him or, to hold, detain him for. He's just trying to complete his US tour or whatever he's doing. And since the car was already there, even if they do have pictures of him and her together, I guess it's not enough evidence to detain him or do anything about it until they figure out like how she died, how she ended up in the car, all that. But it's looking pretty crazy for this guy, David. I haven't even really, I never heard of him before this. I might have seen his name somewhere. The four in the David looks familiar. Like I might have scrolled past something involving him before, but I don't know. I listen to a lot of weird music, then give it a shot. This is pretty crazy. We'll close off on something lighter. U.S. universities, UC Berkeley shares 160 names with Trump administration in McCarthy era move. So I didn't know what the hell that meant, and I had to read the actual Guardian post, which means I can just fill y'all in. UC Berkeley, I guess the school, I don't know who at the school, reported and turned in 160 names of faculty, staff, people that work at the school that they believe are making, I think it's that they're making anti-Semitic remarks and that they might actually be anti-Semitic. since like this new law passed that like basically makes it illegal to be pro-Palestine or be anti-Semitic on college campuses and working for colleges. I hadn't know, I didn't I've heard about it, but I didn't know it had already gone into effect and shit. And I just seen this earlier. This is 6 days ago, so damn near a week now. Berkeley's getting hit with the axe. And the reason they're calling it a McCarthy era move is because when it was like the communism scare days in America, McCarthy was running some like kangaroo court type situation where you could report people for being pro communism and they would try them and send them to like labor camps. I don't know where the hell they were sending it to, but this was like going on all around. I think it was mostly in like New York or some shit. I forget. I learned about it in history a couple of times. And they were sending people for being communism to whatever work camps or prisons. And I don't know that there was much of a difference back then either. But it started as like just report all the communists. And of course, like in every situation this has ever been presented in, people just started reporting people they didn't like and making shit up. And for some reason, nobody ever was found not to be a communist that was reported. And that's where the real problems began and I guess started to end the whole thing. But that's McCarthy era. And that's what a lot of these pro-Palestinian teachers in these schools, because all the schools are ran by like super heavy democratic, people. That's usually the feelings around campuses. That's where I was, at least when I was in college and walking around California campuses. I guess that's just how you're raised to believe it is or something. I don't know. But seems like it could potentially end pretty badly if they like actually go through with that thing, the law or bill, whatever it was. But it also seems like it could end positively in that people are like, hey, what the hell is this? We got to figure out some way to, you know, you got to get rid of this. Like, fuck, who owns these schools? Is it America or I don't know. But that's all I got for y'all this week. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. Good next week ish. I'll try to drop some more, maybe earlier in the week, or maybe drop an extra episode. Think of something fun for that. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. You are worth it. It will get better. Things are okay. Love yourself. Be good to yourself, people. Check out all my music at BD Angel on all platforms. Thank you guys. All right.